about sex. Yes, sex. Also known as intercourse, making love, the horizontal shuffle, and for you older folks, making whoopee. But specifically, let's talk about sex among teenagers and young adults. When I first did my 12th grade research paper on sex education in schools, I was astonished by the information that I found. Soaring teen pregnancy rates, STD outbreaks in communities, lack of education in schools, but most importantly, lack of education at home. Which is why today I'm going to persuade you to talk to your kids about sex. Yes, I said it, sex. I'm going to talk about the importance of safe sex, the unfortunate consequences of unsafe sex, and how to just get that conversation going on that oh so uncomfortable birds and bees talk. So, you've made it clear to your perfectly wonderful children that abstinence is the only option. And there is no need to have that birds and the bees conversation with them because abstinence is the only option. Well, listen up. I have something to tell you. You may want to sit down. Teenagers, they're having sex. I know, but they're doing it. And let me be honest, parents, they're going to make their own decision. And you're going to have absolutely no choice in when, where, and with whom they choose to have sex with. You can blame it on whatever you want. The crazy teenage hormones, the peer pressure, the pressure to have sex by a certain age. Whichever you choose. The fact is, teenagers, they're having sex. A 2009 Center for Disease Control and Prevention survey indicated that 46% of high school students admitted to having sex. 14% admitted to having 4 or more sexual partners, and only 61% reported condom use in their last sexual encounter. Psychology Today says it perfectly. Parents can want what they want, but kids are on their own when they make decisions about sex. Let's face it, our kids aren't going to wake up one day and come begging for this information from us, let alone give us their plans on having sex. So, as uncomfortable as it is, us as parents need to give our children the information and resources on practicing safe sex for when, not if, they choose to have sex. According to the CDC, the U.S. teen pregnancy rate has reached an all-time low, declining 44% in the last 20 years. Way to go, America. But don't pat yourself on the back quite yet. That 44%, well, that equates to 367,752 new teenage moms in 2010 alone. Well, America loves winners, right? The Olympics are coming up and we want to win. Well, America holds the reigning title for most teenage pregnancies of any developed country. Oh. That's not really winning, is it? With nearly 50% of teenage moms not obtaining their high school diploma by the age of 22, those high taxes we're always complaining about, well, $10.9 billion of those are spent annually on assistance for young mothers and their children. All of this is from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Let's move on to STDs, or sexually transmitted diseases. Medicine Plus defines sexually transmitted diseases as an infection that you can get from having sex with someone who has an infection. The causes of STDs are bacteria, parasites, and viruses, and there's more than 20 types of STDs. We normally hear about ones like chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, hepatitis, syphilis, scabies, and those acronym ones like HIV, HPV, AIDS, PID. Some STDs can be treated by a doctor, and you'll just have to deal with the embarrassment. But others can be more serious and can lead to health issues such as pregnancy complications, birth deformities, miscarriage, infertility, chronic pain, cervical cancer, and even death. DoSomething.org is a website dedicated to young adults, posted a scary list of statistics about STDs in teens and young adults. Here's just a few. 19 million new transmitted STDs occur each and every year. Almost half are young adults aged 15 to 24 years old. So 10,000 teens are infected with STDs each and every day. That's one teen every 8 seconds. So let's time it. Okay, start the clock. That's one teen. Where is your kid? All kidding aside, one of the scariest statistics, a survey of young adults reported 40% incorrectly believe that birth control pills protect against STDs and HIV. Ignorance and lack of education is to blame. According to the National Conference of State Legislators, only 21 states require public schools to have sex education classes. You can't simply count on your child's school to provide sex education unless you want your child learning concepts like STDs can be prevented with birth control pills, and they're going to have to suffer the unfortunate consequences. It's your responsibility as a parent to educate your children on the importance of safe sex. Fortunately, companies and associations like the Advocates for Youth, Healthy Teen Network, and National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy are here to help. And they're working together to strengthen a culture of personally responsible adults regarding sex and getting pregnant. But I believe most importantly, they're providing education to teens, young adults, and parents on the importance of safe sex and safe sex education. So, hopefully I've convinced you to sit down with your kids and talk to them about safe sex, which is great. But how do you get that conversation started? Well, maybe not at the Sunday dinner table, but Discovery Health does have some great tips on starting that conversation with your kids and exactly how to do it. First, talk to them early. Laying the foundation and groundwork during the big talk can make periodic little talks not so uncomfortable. Next, don't preach to your kids. Your kids know you pretty well, and they've been studying you since birth. Too much preaching and you'll be totally tuned out. Next, encourage openness. Discuss with your kids. Don't become the Stalin sex dictator. Try asking questions to get them engaged, but nothing's too personal, which goes to my next point. This is not the Spanish Inquisition. Do not interrogate your kids about their sexual behaviors or their plans for the future. Your child is going to shut down, shut off, and close shop. Honestly, parents, did you go running home excited to tell your parents about your sexual experiences? Yeah, no. Be askable and be confident. Keeping an open line of communication is key to sex education, but so is education of the subject matter. Make sure you keep up to date. Do your research. Kids are going to hear tons of different rumors throughout their lives, and especially in high school. Make sure that you have accurate information yourself. And encourage questions. Always be honest. Never try to hide them. from things that you're afraid of them knowing, and never, I mean never, say, we'll talk about this when you get older. Let them know they're sexually normal. Imaginary friends become imaginary sex in adolescence. Your household mirrors are likely to be French kissed, and Playboy may begin to take up shop in a shoebox underneath the bed. But calling them out and shaming them is not the answer. Embarrassment is the last thing they want to feel as teenagers and young adults. Try to remember when you were a crazy, hormone-raging teenager, you. And last, provide other reliable resources. Your kids may be receptive to coming to you for future questions about sex, but many kids find it hard to come to parents with questions about sex. Give them options and other reliable resources. Today I've hopefully persuaded you to talk to your kids about the importance of safe sex, as well as how to start that conversation. The information I've talked about can seem scary, but important for kids, teens, and young adults to be educated on. Although the focus has been on teenagers, the consequences of unsafe sex doesn't discriminate based on age, color, race, or origin. Everyone and anyone are susceptible to the consequences of unsafe sex. So lay the foundation sooner than later so that your children can know the importance of safe sex even after they leave home. The concepts and ideas we've learned in school are important, but more important than the year the Civil War began or the square root of 679 are the life lessons from our parents, and hopefully the education and wisdom our parents gave us on the importance of safe sex.